Yo, listen to this. If you're Nigerian and your chromosomes are X and Y, I feel bad for you. Especially if you're not born into privilege, you do not have a trust fund in your name somewhere, no family inheritance to fall back on, you were not born with a silver spoon, or in fact, any spoon at all, or more, you're in for a rough time. But you know what? That's okay, because you're not alone. We are plenty like that. There are millions of Nigerians who are exactly in your shoes. This is the society we built as men, and we have no choice but to live in it. It sucks, but that's okay. What's okay about it? Let's talk about it some more on the pod. My name is Boomsha, and you're tuned in to the Purple Pill podcast. Now, let's get into it. You know, the fundamental difference between a male and a female is not just their biological makeup. There's more to it than that. It is also in how society perceives their value. Take a female, for example. From the moment she's born, she's perceived by society to have intrinsic value of some sort, especially if she's physically attractive, she's beautiful, she naturally draws the respect, the admiration of her peers, and favorable attention from society. She gets access to certain places, sees certain people faster than other people. She seems to have an edge over her counterparts, especially those of the male variety. At some point, she feels entitled to a life of comfort with the man of her dreams, living the life that she's always dreamed of without necessarily having to work extra hard or even to raise a single finger. She feels she does not have to bring anything extra to the table. She is the table, and society affirms that thinking. But for a man, it's an entirely different ballgame. He dare not aspire to some sort of life without extra effort. His looks alone are not enough, according to society, to fetch him the kind of things that he desires. He needs to add value to himself. He's perceived from the moment he's born to be of no value whatsoever, zero. He will have to add extrinsic value to himself to be acknowledged by society. To earn the respect and admiration of his counterparts, both male and female, he will have to work hard, acquire certain things, attain some level of status in life. Even when it comes to marriage, the woman, all she needs to qualify for marriage is to be of marriageable age and be mature. But for the man, it is not enough to be mature or be of marriageable age. He needs to bring extra to the table. Is he a provider? Does he have a source of income? How well is he doing? All those other factors come into play. Why? Because he does not have intrinsic value in himself according to society. He needs to bring more to the table because he is not the table. I know it sucks, but that's okay. Now, a caveat needs to be sounded here. This is not an absolute rule. There are always exceptions to the rule. There are instances where a woman will have to work hard to earn the respect, the admiration of her peers, to be acknowledged by society, and to create wealth for herself before choosing to settle down and have a family of hers. But that's an exception to the rule. The general situation is the ball rolls and falls on the court of the male. It sucks, but that's what it is. Now, bearing that in mind, it is important that the man does not see his female counterpart as competition, but rather knowing that he has his work cut out for him, he stops whining, stops complaining. It's time he squares his shoulders up, raises his head up and says, "This is not what I would have wanted. The odds are stacked against me. This is the card that I have been dealt with, but I am a man. This is the society that men like me have built. And while we work towards changing it and transforming it to a better society, this is the work I have to get into." He would have to prove his worth to society and then enjoy the privileges that come with it. Knowing that as a man grows older and acquires all the necessary trappings that make him valued by society, even into becoming a high-value man of some sort, his value rises over time. So you see, equality of the sexes is a myth. is a scam of some sort. But we only have ourselves to blame, both men and women. And as we work towards transforming society and changing the rules, we still have to deal with the cards that we have been dealt with. So for the men, knowing that you have your work cut out for you, it is not in seeing your female counterpart as competition, but knowing that each gender will have to shoulder their unique burden, even as they enjoy the privileges that come with it. Also bearing in mind that not everyone has to live according to the standards that society has set, and that the rules are meant to be broken. So there will always be outliers, people who break the rules. There will be people who start out humble and are recognized and celebrated for the intrinsic value they carry, whether male or female, and they work it out. But for the majority of us, we may have to play by the rules until we attain a level where we can break the rules. But until then, complaining, whining about it is not going to solve it. It sucks, but it's okay. We get to work and we enjoy the journey on the way to our destination, knowing that not everyone has to live according to the rules of society. Inevitably, we will break the rules and change the game. But until then, it is what it is. It sucks, but it's okay. After all, life is not red or blue, it's purple.